It is Monday. It is 1:30 in the afternoon. We just left our site at Grand Junction. We didn't film anything because we got in really late last night, which we'll get into, and kind of immediately ate and went to sleep. And then Hayden worked today, and we're off to Salt Lake City.
We won't talk about it too long, but you know, we haven't really done much planning while driving. We've kind of just picked a road and gone. We had 40 most of the way, Interstate 40, because it goes all the way from Wilmington, North Carolina to California. So it's, you know, the road is going to be good, and it's a long way. But because we went down to Dallas and then came back up, that's not where 40 goes. So far we've gotten lucky, but this last time, not so much. So we started from Colorado Springs going to here, and we were going down, it was Interstate 26 was the main one. And of course there was backups, and there was a wreck on the road. So that was adding, I saw it adding 5, 10, 15, it got like an extra hour. So I thought, okay, well, is there any way we can avoid it by temporarily getting off the interstate, going down some access road and coming back? Of course, that did not happen, and it took us on another road called, I think it was Highway 70, which goes through Breckenridge and Vale and Aspen, which is a beautiful road.
It was so pretty. But
it's on the top of the mountain, so it snowed almost the entire way.
And it was getting dark.
It was dark. There was snow and ice on the road. They had, this area, if you're from here, you know that people do that all the time. They probably salt the roads all the time. But for me, I'd never done that. And
especially not in a rig this big.
No. So we essentially just took it 35 miles an hour for 2 or 3 hours. So the 5-hour trip turned into a 7.5-hour drive.
Yeah.
We left at 3 o'clock and got there at like 10:20.
Yep.
So
Hayden, we should all give Hayden a round of applause, because that man was so focused for 3 hours. Like, imagine having to keep your focus that much for 3 hours. It's like a 3-hour long test or something. So we are thankful for this man. We're thankful that he drives the way he does and that he cares the way he does, because it honestly got us there safe and sound, even though it took the extra time.
Yeah, it sucked, but like you said, it was beautiful. We got there successfully. I was also worried because there's not a whole lot of truck stops through that. I saw other trucks going through there, but we had to pick a gas station and just hope that nobody was there. And I had to snake my way through it and barely made it without hitting anybody. So lesson learned. I'm glad we did it because we got to see it, but from now on, I'm just gonna eat the extra hour it takes on the interstate, because I'd rather do that than get off of a road and be in a bind where we can't get out.
Absolutely.
So I'm taking the Interstate 70 all the way to Salt Lake City today, and we're not getting off of it. Anyways, we're actually at a gas station right now waiting to pull out because there's a ding-dong that pulled up beside me, and if I go forward, I will take off the entire side of their van. So waiting on them to hurry up and pump gas, and then we are on the way.
We'll see y'all in Salt Lake City.
Might notice something a little bit different. I'm not driving. Wait.
I like to give him a break every once in a while.
So we got to Salt Lake City about an hour ago. I think we got in around 6:30. We took our time setting up. Gosh, the views are just insane.
Makes me want to cry.
It's just as good, but slowly get a little bit better than Colorado, which is kind of crazy to say because we absolutely loved it. We didn't want to cook tonight, so we're going to get some food because we're out west. We're going to get in and out because we love it. Probably just hang out tonight. The RV park is really cool. They have a lot of rules that others haven't had, like you can't put out an outdoor rug, which I don't really know what that does for anything other than they don't want it flying around all over the place. I don't know, but seems really nice. The prices are a little bit steep, but I think that's just because it's Salt Lake City. Got really good internet, which is nice. The drive was much better on the way here than it was going from Colorado Springs to Grand Junction. There was no snow, there was no rain. It was just a really pretty view. There was not very many service stations. They did tell you though on the way, so I saw a sign that said no services for the next 100 miles. So we went ahead and stopped and filled up, but we never had any problems. It's just make sure you don't assume you're gonna have gas when you could be going 100 miles without it. So the road we took was Highway 6. You get there if you're going from Grand Junction towards Utah. I think there's an access from, it's like Interstate 21 or 26, but that's the road we took, and it was absolutely beautiful. It took us through the mountains of Colorado, and then it transitioned into the mountains of Utah, and we drove through them the entire way until we got to like Provo.
It was breathtaking.
It was crazy. I mean,
You just don't feel real driving through them. Like, you just think, how can this just be like a road that we're just like driving through? Meanwhile, there's deer all over the side of the road. Crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna get some food, hang out tonight. We're considering staying here longer. I think we've already said that, but just because I did some research today, and it looks like a lot of the KOA specifically up towards Wyoming and Montana are closed for the season, and they don't open up until April or May. I don't think we'll stay that long, but we've got to either find some private ones to stay at, or I don't know.
So yeah, we're just gonna grab some In-N-Out. We're gonna head back, maybe play some games, maybe watch some TV, but we're gonna be pretty chill tonight, so you probably won't see us for the rest of the night. So, peace.
I just realized we never showed our little scratch-off map, and we're about to scratch off Utah, so we'll show you now. So we started here, went to Tennessee, drove through Arkansas for a day, then stayed in Texas for a while. Then we actually drove through Mexico, but we still marked it off because it's our map, we do what we want. And then we stayed in Colorado for a bit, and now we're gonna scratch off Utah. There we go. She insisted on us doing this.
I want to be a child again. Yay. Good job.
I feel like I'm a kid again.
Yeah, see? Okay, go ahead and get in the pond if you're gonna act like a silly goose.
So much for a late.
Where'd it go?
Huh.
Who took it?
I don't think they're doing paddle boats today.
We just left the Liberty Park. It was really cool. It was really big. There was a lot of different ways that you could like run and exercise. There was a ton of the scooters that you can pay for. There's like actual parks, like swings and stuff like that. I'm sure you saw us swinging. You can also like walk around the whole place. There's a ton of like grass. It's just a great like activity place.
Yeah.
There's like pavilions too, so you can have like a party there.
It's like a very miniature Central Park in New York. It's in the middle of downtown. There was a lot of people there. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. There's also tennis courts, basketball courts, like horseshoe things. There's a dome for like tennis too. It's really, really cool. I would suggest coming to see it when you're in Utah, if you're in Utah. The only downside is, and we both kind of struggled with this the whole time we were walking through, there's a lot of homeless people there, and it's really sad. It's really sad that is
a reality.
Yeah, that's the only place that they all have to go and feel safe. And that, I mean, it makes you happy because there's a community of them, so at least they're not alone. But it's cold and it's scary for them. So on a lighter note, we are headed to a brewery called Fisher Brewery. It's been around since I
want to say it's 1894. It's the late 1800s. We'll have to, once we get in there, I'm sure they'll have some history on it. But the guy, I think his name's Robert Fisher. I could be messing this up, but it's a very, very old brewery. And the cool part is that not only has it been there for so long, but they don't sell their beer to any retailers. So the only place you can get it is in this tap room.
That's so cool.
And I don't know how long the building's been there, but we'll find all that out. But it's a staple in Salt Lake City for sure. Got our gourmet dinner here.
We usually like to do pretty easy meals since Wednesday night is our date night. We don't like to stress ourselves out with cooking, or sometimes if we're at a brewery too long, we'll just give in and buy food. So it's easier to plan for an easy night because we are typically going to go to a brewery on our date night. so that way we don't end up buying food and we know that we have an easy meal waiting for us at home. So that's why we have all these random frozen dinners.
Yeah. I wanted to give a quick little bit of information about that brewery because I said I would. It's called Fisher Brewing. The brewery was founded, I was close, it was 1884. It was founded by German immigrant Albert Fisher. He moved to the area. He was working in local breweries in the 1870s, and he decided he wanted to start his own. And they did pretty good business up until, I think it said 1905, which is around when Prohibition started. So, of course, they couldn't do anything for about 30 years, it said. And then in 1957, the brewery was sold to Lucky Lager, became the largest brewery in the state. But unfortunately, the brewery actually ended in 1967. Apparently, a lot of breweries in Utah ended around that time. I don't know if it was because the state was a little bit more strict. I know that she found out that not a lot of places have wine around here because of the strictness.
They're very strict on selling alcohol.
Yeah. But apparently, in 2017, which is 50 years after the last beer was sold, it was brought back. So it's only been brought back for 7 years. Is that math right? No, 6 years. 6 years. So it's pretty cool. It's a cool story. Their beer was really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people there. You saw in the video, it's kind of a smaller brewery, but like a small town vibe, I guess. But we got a couple souvenirs, and like we always do, and I got a flight like I always do. But it was really cool.
It was very good.
So now we're going to eat and watch the season finale of Last of Us.
We probably will not see you guys again for a little bit, so see y'all when we see.